with my clock. It's a miniature Dachshund, and she is 4 months old. She's so cute. And her name is Cutie. Say hi. Say hi. Say hi. I'm here today to talk about breaking the rules. Sometimes we get kind of frustrated when we are working in something and it doesn't go the way we want. But sometimes we need to break the rules and go and enjoy doing that. When I say breaking the rules, is not to think about how it should be, not to think about the rules, just be us and have fun. I have some samples here that I have many, but I can show you in different times. I can show you different drawings, and so you'll understand what I mean when I said feel free and don't worry about the process. I have here this one in charcoal that I did. I have it in Instagram. And this is mainly a charcoal spotted all the way on the white page. And then with a white eraser, try to do the lights and the forms that I'm seeing. Usually I do like a black and white, so I don't see color and I don't get confused with color, but only with values. That's something really quickie that I did probably in just a few minutes, 20 minutes or less. And I was with my grandson and I said, let's draw with an eraser. So I brought the charcoals and all the materials and we did it. And he's 13 and he did a wonderful job while I was having a lot of fun doing this too. I have other drawings that sometimes in Philadelphia, when I was in Philadelphia for a year, I spent some time in the bus driving home and or waiting for the bus. And I enjoy doing every profile. And the person left, and then I started another one, and just having fun. And as you can see, it was ink. With the ink, you cannot erase. So whatever you do, it's fine. I have another drawing here. I had a model, but I wanted to play by doing something else and just seeing what happened. And it's not only the result that you got, but you were happy in the process or not. I was happy. So I have another one here that I did. This is with a model, a male model. And as you can see, after I do a quick drawing, I start erasing or drawing or trying to erase with the pencil, writing on top, and so on. And in here, I'm not a watercolor person, but I had the time and I wanted to give it a try. I have a little kit, Sommelier, a very good brand, and I wanted to give it a try. And I drew with ink something really quickly, and then I decided to go with the watercolor, and I made copies because in the notebook they're kind of small and there are several. So I decided to make copies because it was easy for me to show you. But the main thing here is that you have to have some knowledge, of course, you do have before you do something like this. I remember when I did my 3 years, very intensive 3 years in New Orleans, in the New Orleans Academy of Fine Arts, where I used to live before for 9 years. And I went to the academy for 3 intensive years. And I remember at the very beginning of the classes, I told my mentor that I really wanted to play, to draw and to paint like Monet, like Cézanne, like Mary Cassatt. And then he laughed. He laughed and then he told me, Rosario, in order for you to be able to do that, you need to go through all the classicism. And then you can have the freedom of do whatever you want. If you want to do a portrait in green colors, you can go ahead and do that. But before, you need to have knowledge. You need to have a lot of knowledge. And in there, I understood, like he said, you needed to graduate from this academy first, and then you do your own. I understood that really well, and this is what happened after I spent so many years studying. Um, I had the courage to start doing things like that. At the beginning, I started going very slow, but later on, I decided to do more and more with charcoal. It was a lot of fun also because with charcoal, we used to do very large paper. And instead of a tiny Conti or charcoal bar, we had a stone, a piece of wood that it was burnt in a chimney. So it was like this big, no point, no nothing. And we needed to draw with that. And that was the interesting part. Why? Because you cannot make any details. You know, when we are beginners, we want to start everything with a needle brush, very small. But at the end, you have to erase everything you did because that's not the way. The way is to go big masses, big contours and shapes. And with this, it was so much fun because you erase and you redraw. You erase and you redraw. You the model change the pose and you do next to it the profile, and and so on. So it was interesting, very interesting. So I highly recommend you that you had enough knowledge to sometimes go ahead and do this, because it's like liberating from all the patterns that we have, how to do a perfect body, or how to do a perfect portrait, or a perfect landscape, or still life. Whatever the theme is, it's interesting to break the rules sometimes, because you can go forward, back and forward, back and forward. And if it makes you happy, do it, do it. And to draw in big is a very unique experience, because you cannot see with that little window that we have, where we see the frame, or how it's going to be the composition. We don't have that, because everything is so big that we don't have a window. So everything, you need to figure it out, how to do it, putting in the top of the paper, the top of the head, a line, and at the bottom to put the line where the feet are, if we were doing a figure. And then in the middle, you need to measure how many heads, and dry everything, write it down with marks, and then go from there. So it is interesting and very important to work from life. Sometimes, not always with photos, because life gives you a lot of great information that you cannot get through a photograph. A photograph has all, although it's the best photograph, the photograph gives you some kind of ink that it's not there, or sometimes details in lights or shadows that they disappear in the photo. Of course, when you have a lot of experience working with live models, you learn all those details, and then you're able to work with a photograph and do a good job. So I recommend you guys to sometimes feel free and get a either a big brush with only raw umber in a canvas, or a pencil, a dark pencil, and an eraser, and try to draw in large surfaces, or with charcoal. And with charcoal, I remember I did the drawing, and then I put the paper on the floor, and I tell the other students, feel free to walk on top or dance or whatever. And we did that, and that was part of the pattern, around and on top the figure. And it came what I wanted. Another time, we were working with acrylic, raw umber acrylic, and no brushes, just a big sponge, those sea sponges. And we had to work in large also the figure. We would have like 5 minutes. So with the sponge, the sponge was the brush. So you needed to do everything with that. And that was, you couldn't erase with that. Impossible. So the fun part is to do distortions. It doesn't matter. You know that you had the knowledge, but you know that you want to do distortions on purpose for fun, just to feel free. So today, that was it for today. And I hope you enjoy it. And I hope also you try to do this in your tablets and have fun with it. And the result will be amazing because it's you having fun and being happy. Rosario Ponte, thank you for being with me. Now I need to stop it. Stop remaining.